Good morning, everybody. It is I, Catherine Fowler, and here are the developing stories. I'm out here in Austria. It's a bit messy. Austria is a very beautiful place. I am pleased to report that the government shutdown has been paused for 3 weeks to get workers paid. Thank you, President Trump. So now we're at the point of trying to figure out negotiations to get the funding to build the wall, which brings me to my point of making this video. I don't understand how anybody cannot see the value of building a barrier between the United States and Mexico. For this reason. If you live in Virginia, if you live in New York, if you live in Nebraska, you probably have no fucking clue what you are talking about. Okay? No offense. Like, sincerely, 100% no offense. But if you are not from Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, California, you should shut the fuck up and stop talking about your opinions so loudly, because you are informing other people about stuff that is incorrect. Okay, so I see that on the polls that I've been reading, the country's kind of split. Half the country thinks the wall is important, the other half thinks that other measures are more important. And let me tell you this. I'm from Arizona, born and raised, okay? My family on my dad's side homesteaded the Grand Canyon, okay? So in layman's terms, on my dad's side, we were the first white people that were able to live and survive in the Grand Canyon without getting killed or by the elements or murdered by Native Americans in the area who didn't like them. So meaning we were pretty nice, we were pretty tolerant, we kind of figured out how things work. In the, decades upon decades that my family has been living in the Southwest on, either side of my family, we have been talking about how a border wall is essential to our security. We've been talking about this since I was a kid. I'm about to be 30. Okay, if that gives you any perspective, 30 years to be talking about fixing a problem and not doing anything is an outrageously long time. I know we've all seen that commercial with the water running and everyone walks up and they're like, oh my God, the water's running. It's crazy. They were wasting so much water. That's so bad. And then everyone just keeps talking about how you got to do something. And finally, one person walks up and turns the water off. Building a wall is the solution to this problem. You have seen America become more and more shitty over the last 10 years. Maybe some of you have seen that, maybe some of you haven't because you're rich. But for those of you who live in the middle or lower class, you have watched the access to services and access to goods change incredibly for people in your position. I know I have. So in the 10, 20 years that I've been alive and aware of these conversations, because keep in mind, I probably wasn't talking about the border wall when I was like 5. I was playing with toys. But once, I think when I was about 7 years old is the first time I remembered seriously hearing that be discussed in school. And that was 23 years ago, you guys. So I don't really understand what you don't understand. Look around. Look behind me. There's a wall, and then in front of me, there's a wall, and then there's another wall. And you see that I'm the only person in this house right now because of those walls. So walls allow you to have privacy and have control over who flows in and out. It seems really basic, and I'm trying really hard to have this make sense. A wall is essential to border security. On the west coast of the United States, we have ocean, which provides a pretty good barrier. You don't really need to put a wall when you have an ocean. On the east coast, we also have the ocean. That's also a pretty good barrier. People can't just swim up and decide they want to be citizens. You can't swim from England. That would take a long time. We share a landmass with Mexico, and we have noticed that there's a problem with illegal immigration from Mexico. So something tells me that if I want to fix that problem, I would build a wall so that it would be more difficult for people to get into my house rather than just leaving the gate open all the time and letting whoever come in and then complaining about it afterwards. So this is something that not a lot of people are aware of or discuss or want to know about. But when you have illegal immigrants, they need to work and live somewhere, right? And what kinds of jobs are they going to be getting? Unskilled laborer jobs, a job that you might get, or a job that your sister or your brother or your niece or nephew or your cousin or your elderly mother or a new mom might get. Those jobs are taken up by illegal immigrants because they're easy to do and they can pay them less. And if you were put yourself in the perspective of a business owner, you're a business owner, you're trying to put your kids through college, wouldn't you want to have someone that you could pay less and then feel like in some part of you that you were like helping those people out, like, oh, they're illegal, they would be kicked out otherwise, I'm doing a good thing. You're actually breaking the law by paying illegal immigrants any kind of a wage when they're living here because they emigrated illegally. So, for instance, I'm out here in Austria. The only reason I was allowed to come to Austria is because I got a passport and I notified the, I think it's the Secretary of State, that I had plans to travel and how long I was planning on traveling. If I don't show up back in the United States, they're going to come looking for me. Okay? So that's the whole point of immigration. If when you immigrate to another country, they want to know about you. They want to know where you came from. They want to know what your background is. They want to know what you plan to do while you're there because they care about their country being successful. Obviously, some of you are not aware that a lot of people hate America, and a lot of people that hate America live in America, and they're trying to destroy it from within, like a microwave, okay? The only way that you are able to stop these assholes from destroying your home is by being aware of obvious things around you, okay? Building a wall is so important. It's so essential. And again, like, I hate to say this, if you're from fucking Minnesota, shut up. Okay, you live by Canada. Canada probably patrols their border. They have way more people on the ground than we do. Okay? And there are too many immigrants to keep track of. I'm from Arizona, you guys. Like, I don't know how much more proof you need or how much more backup. But I grew up with kids that were illegal immigrants. I know people that are illegal immigrants. Does it make me an asshole? Do I hate those people? No. But does it leave me with a weird taste in my mouth? And I'm like, I'm an actual citizen. I pay taxes, okay, whether I want to or not. I pay taxes on everything that I buy. And I don't necessarily get the help or services that I need, and I'm a citizen. Okay, in my time working in restaurants, the restaurant industry used to be a good industry, used to be able to make good money without having much of an education. There are a bunch of illegal immigrants that have taken over that industry that will work for less money than you will. And it's fucking up the dining industry. You go out to dine and you don't necessarily get a good dining experience anymore because those people don't know about dining. They're illegal immigrants. Okay? Like, they don't know about, you think they know about American culture, fine dining? Like, are you fucking thick in the head or something? So anyway, it destroys an entire culture, an entire genre, an entire demographic of workers by driving down the wages, okay? And then where do the other unskilled laborers go? A lot of us are trying to go to college, and the baby boomers won't retire. So you see that, like, this is just one small piece of a very big problem. What illegal immigration, like, it stems from. What happens when you have illegal immigration? You have more crime. You have people in your community that will not ever get tickets. So, for instance, I worked with a guy, I won't tell you his last name, but his name was Ben, okay? Ben used to get wasted at work, and he would drive home. And I'd say, Ben, like, that's a little dangerous. Why do you do that? And he's like, oh, I've been pulled over by the cops. They don't stop me. I've even had my kids in the car when I've been drunk, and they won't give me a ticket because I'm not a citizen. Let me repeat that, okay? Think about that for a second. Could you go to Mexico and drive drunk and not get a ticket? You would go to fucking prison for like 10 years. What is wrong with America? Like, you guys, you think you're so smart and you're so well educated and you're knowing things, but you don't know anything about what's happening around you. You might know science, you might know philosophy, but you don't know how business runs. Okay? A wall is so important. It's the most important thing. It's the most important thing. Border security isn't shit without a wall. You can have a bunch of people, that's like having a guy working door and then no, like, just a big open area. The dude that would be working door would have a very hard time of guaranteeing who got in and out if you didn't have some kind of a barrier there. A club is more secure than the United States. A fucking nightclub, okay? At a nightclub, you wait in line. If your name's on the list, you might get to cut everybody, but if it's not on the list, you have to fucking wait. That's the American immigration system, everybody, okay? Fucking think. Please, if you have any questions, feel free to DM me. Underwear only. Have a wonderful day.